made the decision that they wanted to try to expand their family, but they also haven't really solidified where they stand with their relationship. How much are we going to be seeing that going forward as they decide whether they want to do like down the marriage route, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
It's a big question.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a big question, and it gets answered. Yeah.
What's interesting is I feel, in speaking for Ethan, that he has solidified his relationship. I think that he thinks that April is the love of his life. I think they're soulmates. I think if you're going to talk about children, I mean, there is no hesitation for me. And what I love about the relationship is that it's built on that. It's built on that trust. And it's built on everything that, you know, you want to see in your partner, like in real life. And hopefully it expands into that much more, and you see a lot of the conflicts within the relationship built on that love and that trust, you know, because I think it would be amazing for the audience to see this relationship even grow even further than it already has, and to kind of continue on to that track, I think, is what the audience yearns for.
And you've seen it, you know, you've seen the couple earn that because of the things that they've been through, their family members, you know, things with Noah, things with Emily. It's has stood the test of time
Right.
up until this point. And so I don't think it's a surprise that they want to take it to the next level. And, you know, it's just going to continue to blossom and hopefully prove to be one of the most authentic and, you know, just genuinely loving relationships on television.
You two working together for a while now, do you have a shorthand between the two of you when you're working, or are you still working on that?
You know what's interesting is we'll either rehearse a scene or do the scene, whatever it is, and then we'll check in and we'll be like, okay, relationship. We're in a relationship. Like, this is what we're feeling right now. This is how we gotta be. And then the very next take, it changes, right? But it's that like instant kind of reconnect that we always try to remind ourselves with, that really sparks a scene no matter what, if it's medicine or if it's just between the two of us. And that's what's great, because we've been working together so long, there's this kind of built-in trust involved, but to be able to kind of check in with one another, to be able to elevate the relationship even more is amazing.
Do you do that check-in like before, like when you get the script and you read it and you're like, man, I'm not sure how I should play it? Do you check in with each other on that level?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we're always communicating, and it's great to be able to feel it out, because sometimes we don't quite know where the scene or where the writer's kind of taken the particular scene, and we'll have all of these ideas, but once we get it on its feet, we say, okay, here's the scene, here's what needs to be hit in that particular scene, but through it all, this is where we are. This is how we should do this scene. This is the love or the relationship or all of these qualities that we need to fit in. And it's great to continue on to that path and kind of check in on each other and also build on that.
We touched a bit about checking in with each other, knowing the characters now. Do you feel comfortable saying to the writers, I don't know that April would do this, I don't know that Ethan would do this, or maybe April would do this? Like, do you feel that comfort now, being so deep into the characters?
That's a great question. I definitely do. It's hard sometimes being an actor and being just given the scripts right before we go and not necessarily knowing what's coming next. So we have to be in the moment. But also, we have to be true to our characters and what we know of them. And sometimes the writers are not, because they have so many other things to think about, and they're thinking about all of us, they might miss little things here and there that we can come and remind them of. Remember in season 2 when April did this? So I think this connects to this in season 5, and they'll be like, oh, okay. You know, sometimes it helps, sometimes they say thank you, no thank you, but there is that dialogue, and I appreciate that.
I'm in the same boat. I feel like, for myself, I'm so emotionally invested in the character because I innately enjoy playing Ethan so much. And when you're emotionally invested through the character, certain things that come up, you're always asking questions. And I feel like when the writers create story, they create drama. And you hope that they create drama through the character, but in certain situations it doesn't always align. And it's great for them to be open to our impulses and our instincts, to be able to come to them to have these conversations, because in the end we're more connected to our characters than they would be. And it's wonderful to have them kind of listen to our objectivity, or the personal connection that we also have with the characters, in order to try to kind of fit in with what they need to do.
Is there somebody that you haven't worked a lot with on the show that you'd like to work with?
On our show?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're running 5 seasons. I think we work with
All right.
everyone
Well, how
in
about
particular.
on the other shows, like on the crossovers? Is there? Well, Joe was telling, from Fire was telling us he's dying to have a scene with Oliver Platt.
Right.
And so, is there someone on one of the other shows that you're like, I gotta have a scene with that person?
David Eigenberg.
Oh.
Only because it would just be like a fun situation between
Well, you need to go to Molly's more then.
Herman and Ethan. I think those are kind of polar opposite
Yeah.
personalities too. So we could just kind of sit back and have a beer and see what comes about. So
What
yeah.
about you? Yeah.
Maybe Eamon Walker.
Oh.
I don't know why we would interact, but I just think he's awesome and I love his voice.
It's not to love about that.
Certainly incoming to
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the hospital a lot, but because he's like the chief, he stays outside,
Right.
and I'm inside.
Yeah.
I'm inside.